This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So in the last session, we have discussed about the email integration business use case, and we have discussed about the steps also. What are the various steps that we need to follow upon implementing this email integration? So there we have discussed, initially we need to create a business logic class in which we need to provide the implementation to process that email notification received from an external email ID that can be do with the help of an interface called as inbound email handler interface. So we have to create a class. That class should be a global class because that class we are not invoking manually. That class has to be get invoking by an email service. So that make that class as global, and then in that class we need to provide the implementation for the email processing. So that we have to use an interface called as inbound email handler interface. Inbound email handler interface is going to be receiving the email notification which has been sent by an external person or an external email ID. Once the email notification has been received by the inbound email handler interface, it will pass that email notification to that a method called as handle inbound email. That means whatever the email that you are received, with that email, what you are going to do, what needs to be done with this email notification. So in this case, in order to perform the required operations with that email notification, we are using the help of a method called as handle inbound email method. Whenever I'm using this handle inbound email method, which will be having the two parameters, okay, which will be having the two parameters. The first parameter is a class called as messaging dot inbound email class, which will be holding the actual email notification which has been received from the third party email ID or a third party system or from that external person. And the inbound envelope class will be holding only the from address and the to address. It's simply having that envelope information. From address, that means from whom you have received that email notification, to whom they have sent. Okay, so which person has sent that email notification, that person's email ID, that means the from address and then to address, both will be available. Okay, in order to store both from address and the to address, we are using a class called as inbound envelope class. And then to store that complete email notification details, we are using a class called as inbound email class. Whether this email notification has been received process perfectly or not, to get that information, we are using a class called as inbound email result class. Inbound email result class is used to indicate whether this email notification has been received and processed successfully or not. In order to get that information, we are using that inbound email result class. These are the three classes that we are going to be using as part of email integration. Okay, along with these three classes, we are using an interface called as inbound email handler interface. Now, in this case, you know that when coming to the interface contains some set of methods. As part of this inbound email handler interface, it is having only one method. That method is handle inbound email method, for which we need to provide the implementation. But upon using this method, we are using the two classes internally: inbound email, inbound envelope. Then what exactly these classes? And then what are the various properties or the methods available inside these classes? You should be aware of that. Okay, now let's see the first class, messaging dot inbound envelope class. So messaging.inbound envelope class will be simply used to hold the from address information and the to address. That means the sender details and the receiver details, both. In order to store both sender details and the receiver details of that email notification, we are using that inbound envelope class. Okay, now This class is used to hold the sender's details and receiver's details. Sender's details and the receiver's details. In order to store the sender's information and the receiver's information, we are using that inbound envelope class. Then how can we get the sender's address and then receiver's address? For that one, we are having two properties are available here. We have two properties. The first property is from address. Okay, from address is a property which will be holding that from address. Nothing but the person who has sent. Sender's email address will be getting available here inside this. It contains the sender's email ID. Next, to address. Okay, to address. It contains the receiver's address. That means receiver's email ID. In order to store the sender's email ID and the receiver's email ID, we are going to be using that from address property to address property. Suppose if it is a method, we are using that object name dot method name. But if it is a property, directly we can specify object name dot property name. No need to specify the braces. Okay, no need to specify the braces. For example, if you want to receive this one, I'm indicating that. Reference name, what exactly the reference name that was specified, we can specify the reference name. For example, here I'm indicating reference name here. We have to specify the object reference name. Reference name dot from address. That's it. Directly we can able to access. No need to specify the open braces, close braces. If I'm specifying the open braces and close braces, this means it's a method. But these are not methods, these are the properties. Properties can be accessible directly by using that property name itself. For example, here we can specify the reference name dot to address. So these are the two properties are available as part of inbound envelope class. Next, the second class, messaging dot inbound email class. Messaging dot inbound email class. Now, whatever the email notification has been sent by the external person or the customer or a third party email ID, from that email ID, whatever the email notification they have sent, that entire email notification information is available inside a class called as inbound email class. Okay, whatever the email notification that we have sent to that, the address, routing address, that entire email information is available inside a class called as inbound email class. So inbound email class contains the complete email notification details which has been received from the external email ID. Okay, now. So in this case, it contains the details of the email notification which has been sent by, which has been sent from an external email ID. Which has been sent from an external email ID. So whatever the email notification that has been sent by the people, that email notification details will be holding inside a class called as inbound email class. So this inbound email class will be having so many properties. It is also having so many properties. Okay, the first property is from address. From address, which will be indicating that from whom you are receiving that email notification, which person has sent that email notification, from which email address we have received that email notification. To know that person's email address, we are using that from address. From address is one of the property that we have inside this inbound email class, so which is used to get the email ID address of that sender's person here. The person who has sent that email notification, that person's email address we can able to fetch by using that from address. Okay, now in this case here, now it contains the email ID of the sender. The person who has sent that email notification, that person's email address will be available inside that from address property. Second one, from name. Okay, from name. Then what exactly the from name and the from address? From name is returning the display name of that person. Like for example, when you go to that any email notification, whatever we have, let me go to my Gmail application here. Whenever you are logging into my Gmail application, I can see my email address. I can see the email name also. Okay, let me show you practically. Now, so when you go to your email address, okay, when you go to the top right corner, you will be having your email details are available. So once you expand that, it is indicating. So this is the email address. That means here the from address contains this email address. Whatever the email address from which you are receiving the email notification, this email address will be available. From name in the sense whatever the display name is available, this display name will be available inside your from name property. Okay, the from name property will be returning the display name, and then from address will be holding that email address of that person from whom we are receiving that email notification. Okay, now. So now here in this case, in order to get this from name, we are using a property called as from name, okay, which is used to get the name of the person from whom we have received that email notification. Okay, now it contains the details of, so details in the sense it contains the name of the sender person. From name, it contains the name of the sender person. Next, the third property. The third property is two addresses. So why I'm giving this property as two addresses? Because upon sending the email notification, inside my two address, we can specify only one email ID or multiple. So in order to get those two addresses information, we are using a property called as two addresses property. Two addresses property is used to get all the email addresses which they have mentioned inside my two address field. Okay, now it returns all the email addresses which has been specified in the to address field. Next, CC addresses property. It returns all the CC email addresses. It returns all the CC email addresses. For example, here you can raise a question, sir, can I get the BCC addresses? For example, somebody has sent an email notification to you. Okay, somebody has sent an email notification to you. In that email notification, they have mentioned you as the to address. Okay, to address will be your email ID. CC address, they have mentioned these two people's email address. In the BCC, I have added this person's email ID. Whenever you are receiving the email notification as a two, okay, as a two person, that means you are the actual receiver. Can you see that BCC addresses? No, we can't see. Whenever you are receiving that email notification, CC addresses we can see, but BCC addresses we can't see. There is no possibility. That's what here we don't have the property of BCC addresses. Okay. because we are receiving the email notification. In that email notification, when you will receive the email notification, they have mentioned you as a to address or CC address, BCC address. Just you are receiving the email notification, but email in that email notification along with you to whom they have sent that email notification. What is the to address person? What is the CC address person? We can see, but in the BCC which they have added, we can't see that information. Okay, so at that time, as part of this inbound email class, once the email notification has been received, in that one to address information we can collect. We can collect the CC addresses information, but we can't collect that BCC addresses information, so that there is no property of BCC addresses. Okay, now the next one, subject property. This property is going to be returning that email subject. It returns the email subject. Email subject. In order to get that email subject, we are using that subject property. Next one, email content. Whenever you are collecting that content, then what type of contents will be available generally? Plain text type of content and then HTML type of content. So if you want to receive that plain text type of content, we have to use that property called as plain text body. Plain text body property. This property is used to collect that plain text kind of content which are specified inside your email body here. To get the plain text email content. Whatever the email content that we have specified, if the email content is of type a plain text type, then we can able to receive that. Suppose if it is a HTML type of content, then we can able to receive that. HTML body. HTML body. To get the HTML email content. That means whatever the email content that you have prepared, which is in the form of HTML format, which contains some content which will be having the formatting options, changing the colors, changing the font style, font name, font size, alignments, hyperlinks, images, pictures. At that time, that entire content will be storing in the form of HTML body here. Okay, to get that HTML kind of email content, we are using HTML body property. Next, the next property here. The next property is text attachments. Text attachments. Text attachment is a property which will be returning all the text attachments which they have been added inside your email. Upon sending that email notification, whatever the text attachment that you have added, which are purely in the form of notepad, okay, which are purely in the form of notepad content, those kind of text attachments will be storing inside a property called as text attachments. Okay, in this text attachments property, it will be storing all the text attachments which you have uploaded or added as part of your email notifications. Okay, now it contains list of all the text attachments has been added to the email. Whatever the list of text attachments that you have added along with that email notification, that the text attachments we can able to collect with the help of text attachments property. Sometimes we are adding some binary attachments also, because sometimes we are adding some binary attachments also, like as some PDF files, Word documents, images, pictures, zip files. We are going to be adding this kind of content as an attachment. At that time, to get those kind of attachments, we are using a property called as binary attachments. Binary attachments property. With the help of this binary attachments property, we can able to collect all the binary attachments which you have added as part of your email. It contains all the binary attachments. For example, PDF files, Word documents, images, audio files, or video files, zip files, etc. Okay, so these are the various methods are available. Okay, these are the various methods are available as part of that the inbound email class. Okay, inbound email class will be having that the various methods like as from address, from name, to addresses, CC addresses, subject, plain text body, HTML body, text attachments, binary attachments. Okay, these are the various methods are available as part of inbound email class. Next, the third class, inbound email result class. This inbound email result class will be holding the result of that email processing. Whatever the email they have sent to you, whether you have received that email notification successfully or not, whether you have processed that email notification successfully or not. In order to store that result of that email notification sent by the external person, we are going to be using that class called as inbound email result class. Now, this class contains the result of inbound email processing. Inbound email processing. As part of this inbound email result class, we have a property. Only one property is available, that is success property. Success property, which is used to specify either true or false. That means if the success equals to true means what? We have processed that email notification successfully. If it is false, that means here we are not yet processed that email notification here. Okay, we need to indicate that. We need to give the result by our own, whether you have processed that email notification successfully or not. Once the email notification has been received, then whatever the email you have received, with that email you are done with the operations or not. Whether you have received that complete information from that email or not, in order to collect that information, we are using that property called as success property. These are the three classes that we are using as part of that email integration. Okay, we are going to be using that three classes, one interface. Okay, the classes are inbound email result class, inbound email class, inbound envelope class, and then the interface is inbound email handler interface. These all are available inside a single namespace called as messaging namespace. Okay, now, so now let's see how can we implement the business logic here. So now, as part of that implementation, first of all, we have to prepare the business logic, and then that means we need to create a global class. Once the class is ready, in that class we need to provide the implementation for the method called as handle inbound email. In that particular method, we need to perform all the operations whatever you want. Okay, now, so upon implementing the business logic, we have to use the help of inbound email class, inbound envelope class. Okay, now let's see how can we perform that. Let's go to that business use case first. Now, so let's go to that our requirement at the business use case. First of all, they ask us to create two fields inside my contact object. So with the name email subject, email content, two fields I need to add inside my contact object first. Okay, now, so let me create these two fields. Now this email subject will be of type a normal text field. Email content will be of type a text area field here, where we can able to receive some multiple content, multiple characters also. Or else we can go with the text area, this one, and here the text area long also we can go with, no problem. Now, so let me create that two fields here. Go to the contact object. So let me create the two fields. I would like to add two fields inside my contact object. Create the two fields. I'm creating a field text area, okay, to store the email address, nothing but to store that email subject. Click on next. Email subject field. Now, click on next. Make the field to be get visible to all the profile users. Make it save and new. I'm creating one more field. Email content. That will be of type texty area long. I would like to use. Go to the next. Email content. I'm giving maximum of some 10,000 characters. I'm giving that 5 lines to be get visible at a time. Okay, number of lines to be get visible, 5. Make the field to be get visible to all the profile users. Make it save. Both the fields are ready with me. I have created 2 fields with the name email subject and the email content. One is of type texty area. Second one is of type texty area that is also long, which will be accepting maximum of 10,000 characters. Now, let me go to that user interface. Both the fields will be getting visible in the first section automatically by default here. Now the email subject is visible over here. Email content has been placed inside the description section. I want to prepare one separate section in order to place these 2 fields. I'm going with that page layout customization. Here I would like to add a section. I'm adding one section inside that. Inbound email details. I would like to place these 2 fields in the 2 different one column so that I'm specifying the number of columns are only 1. Here I'm placing those fields. Email subject will be in this place, and then email content will be in this place. I'm saving the changes. So I have a separate section, email subject and the email content. 2 fields are available. Whenever if you're sending that email notification from any of that email ID, then my email service has to be get invoked. It has to receive that email notification. That email notification has to pass to my business logic class. My business logic class has to collect the details of that email. Based on that, it has to do the necessary operations inside my record. Okay, clear? So now as a step 1, we are done with that, preparing the prerequisite fields to be used as part of my email integration. So as soon as whenever you are sending any email notification, then from Gmail or whatever, so based on that email address from which you are receiving that email notification, my email service is going to be receiving the email notification. It is passing that record to that business logic class. Now the business logic class will go to that contact object. In this contact object, do we have any contact record with that from address or not? Whatever the email notification from which you have received the email notification, based on this email address, do we have any contact record is available or not? If the contact record is available, that email content and the subject has to be get placed inside that fields automatically by default. Suppose if that with that email address we don't have any contact, then it has to create a new contact record inside my object here. Okay, now let's see. So now for this one here, as a step 2, we need to write the business logic class. How to implement that business logic class? Let's see practically. As of now, simply we have added the required fields to be used as part of my implementation. We have added that email subject field and the email content field, which is used to store the subject of the email and content of the email which we have received from that third party or the external email ID. Now we need to implement the business logic class. For that one, I'm using the developer console. So let's go to the developer console and prepare that global class. I'm creating a new global class. I'm preparing an Apex class. I'm indicating that now update contacts handler. Okay. So now update contacts handler. I'm preparing a class with the name update contacts handler. So now my class is ready. I need to make this class as global. I'm making that class as global. And then whenever I'm going to be using this class has to be implemented by an interface. What is that interface? Inbound email handler interface. Okay. Now I'm using that. Implements messaging dot inbound email handler. Okay. I'm going to be implementing that class with an interface called as inbound email handler interface. Now, this inbound email handler interface is having one ready-made method. Okay, it is having a ready-made method that is called as handle inbound email. Okay, handle inbound email. For that one, we need to provide the implementation. Till you are not providing the implementation, this class code will not be saving into your metadata repository. Class cannot be compiled because as part of object oriented principles, whenever you are using any interface into your class, then you may use, you may not use, compulsorily we have to provide the implementation for all the interface methods. Whatever the interface that you are using inside your class, in this interface, if it is having any methods are available, for those methods we have to provide the implementation. Okay, so that here without providing that implementation, we can't save your class code will not be getting compiled, it will be stopping at the compilation stage itself. So that's what it is indicating, an exclamation symbol to you. Now it is indicating class update context helper must implement the method messaging dot inbound email result messaging dot inbound email handler interface. So now in that one we are having a method called as handle inbound email. Okay, handle inbound email method. So for this method we need to provide that implementation part. Now, so I'm indicating that global messaging dot inbound email result. This is the return type of that method. What is that method name? Handle inbound email. Okay, handle inbound email. This is a method name. In this method, it is having two parameters here. What are those two parameters? Messaging dot inbound email. I'm indicating like as some email. Second one, messaging dot inbound envelope. Okay, I'm indicating that here. I'm specifying email envelope, simply env. Okay, so as part of this method handle inbound email, we have two internal parameters are available. Those parameters are of type classes. Those are inbound email class, inbound envelope class. That already you know that inbound email class will be holding the complete email information which has been received from the third party or external email address, and then inbound envelope class will be holding only the from address and to address. What properties are available in each and every class we have discussed practically today here. Okay, we have discussed that in that inbound email envelope class, what properties are available we have discussed. In that inbound email class, what kind of properties are available we have discussed. In that inbound email result class, what properties are also available we have discussed. Okay, now let's see the implementation part. So now whatever the email notification has been sent by the external email ID, external person, that email notification will be available inside my email reference variable. This is the inbound email class in which the actual email information will be available. So now here we are referencing this email notification by using a reference name called as email. Okay, based on that email, from that email, whatever the from address is available, based on the from address, I would like to go to my contact object and I would like to collect that contact record here so that I can update this information. Okay, now. So now here in this case here, in order to give that result information, okay, first of all, I need to collect that information over here. Now to collect that information based on that email address, whatever the email address we have specified, nothing but whatever the email address from whom you are receiving that email notification, based on that email address, I would like to search for the contact record. If the contact record is there, I want to update that contact record's email subject field and email content field with the email notification subject and the content information, or else I need to create one new contact record inside my object. Okay, now. So in this case, first of all, you need to collect that from address here. How to collect that from address? Email dot from address. There is a property called as from address. All the properties you are aware of that here. Based on that from address, I need to collect that respective contact record. Now, so now to store that contact record, I'm preparing a contact object here. Contact CON object or contact record. Okay, so now contact record equals to new contact. I'm creating that contact object class. Inside this contact record, I would like to collect that contact information based on that email address. Now, here I'm using that exception handling mechanism also. Now, contact record equals to, I'm fetching the details. Select the ID of that contact record, first name, last name, email address, email subject, email content from contact. Based on what field we are collecting the data, based on email ID field. I would like to specify where contact's email address is equals to email dot from address. Okay, I'm giving that limit 1. So now what I'm doing here in this case, so whatever the email notification sent by that person, okay, whatever the email notification has been sent by the person, that email notification I'm collecting here. From that email notification, I'm picking up that only the from address part, okay, from which email ID they have sent. I'm collecting that from address. Based on that from address, I would like to verify whether that person is really our customer or not, whether he is already having our details or we are having his details or not. For that one, based on that from address, I'm collecting his contact record information. Okay, I'm collecting his contact record information. Okay, now here I'm going writing that catch block, catch exception. Here we can write some part over here, no problem. Next. So now upon fetching the data, contact record may be found, contact record may not be found. Okay, contact record may be there, contact record may not be there here. If the contact record is available, what we can do? If the contact record is not available, what we can do? Okay, now let's see in this case. For here, I'm indicating system.debug exception has been occurred. I want to write some code. Exception message is ex dot get message system.debug exception line number is ex dot get line number system.debug exception reason is I would like to specify get cause and the stack trace string. Okay, so I'm specifying that information. Now, so now here what I'm doing here, I'm prepared a contact record here. Now this is a contact record. I'm going to be filling up with the details of the contact record which I'm collecting from my contact object. Whatever the email notification has been sent by the external person, that email notification is storing inside my email reference variable. From that, I'm collecting the from address of that email address. That means from which email address we have received the email notification. Based on that, I'm collecting that contact record from my contact object here. Okay, if the contact record has been found, okay, if the contact record has been found, if contact record dot id not equals to null, that means if the contact record is available. Okay, if the contact record is available. If the contact record is available, then what we need to do? We need to update that contact record information here. How to update? Contact record dot email subject equals to email dot subject. Contact record dot email content equals to, I'm specifying that email dot, I would like to get that HTML body. Okay, HTML body. Or else if the contact record is not found, then what we can do? I need to create a contact record here. Now here I'm indicating that. Here I'm indicating if the suitable contact record found. if the contact is not found. If the contact record is not available, then what we can do? In this case, I need to prepare a contact record over here. So now, upon preparing the contact record, we need to specify contact record dot last name. I'm indicating that email dot from name. Contact record dot email address. Email dot from address. Contact record dot email subject. Email dot subject property. Contact record dot email content. Email dot I would like to specify what is that one? HTML body. Okay, I'm passing that value here. Okay, I'm passing that value. What is the problem in this one? Okay, now, so in this case, now here in this case here, now what I'm doing in this case, I'm going to be collecting that contact record. If the contact record has been found in this contact record, I'm going to be updating the details over here. Okay, then update the contact with email details. Now, then create a new contact. Now, so either we are going to be updating the contact record or we are inserting the contact record. Then what we can do? In this case, I would like to specify that once operation has been done, simply I would like to do that upsert contact record. Okay, I'm using that upsert operation. Okay, so now if the contact record has been found, then I'm updating that contact record with the email subject and the email content. If the contact record is not found, then I'm creating a new contact record by specifying the details for that required fields inside that. And then I'm using that upsert. You know the concept here, either insert or update. Okay, now up to this part here, we have prepared that record. We have collected the record. We have updated the details over here. Now, so now once operation has been done, we need to send the result over here. In order to send the result, we are using that class called as inbound email result class. So that I'm creating the object. Messaging dot inbound email result. Email result equals to new messaging dot inbound email result. I'm creating the object of the class. I'm passing the value. Once operation has been done, I'm passing the value email result dot success equals to true. Okay, I'm going to be updating the results over here. I'm indicating the result that I'm done with that operation with that email notification. What is the message over here? Missing return statement required. Okay. Okay, now, So now here I'm indicating that I'm done with the operation. So for that one here I'm using this. So this is the result I'm supplying here. So once operation has been received, once operation has been processed successfully, then I'm going to be giving the result as a success, and then I'm going to returning the result also. So only half of the part we are done as of now. Okay, still half of the part is pending now. Okay, only we have collected that email notification. Based on that, we are creating the contact or we are updating the contact. Next step. Upon sending that email notification to that particular email ID, if he has added any attachments inside this email here, okay, if there is any attachments are available, how can we collect those attachments here? What we can do? Those may be text attachments also, those may be binary attachments also. Whatever the attachments are available, we need to collect those attachments and we need to process those attachments also here. Okay, now. So in this case, once the contact record has been getting updated or inserted, then I need to collect those attachments over here. Get the attachments. From the email. Get the attachments from the email. So whatever the attachments here, it may be text attachments, it may be binary attachments also here, whatever. Okay, they might be sending to you. In this case, we need to specify that here. Whatever the attachment they have specified here, we need to collect each and every attachments. Okay, every attachment we need to collect. I'm using that. Messaging dot inbound email dot text attachments. Okay, text attachment here. I'm collecting each and every attachment here. Okay, text attachment. Okay, each and every attachment I'm collecting that. I'm indicating that txt attachment from the attachments, like as email dot text attachments. Okay, so I'm collecting all the attachments inside your email notification. Okay, inside your email notification, whatever the attachments that you have added, I'm collecting all the attachments by using a property called as text attachments. From this one, I'm collecting every attachment over here. Each attachment I'm collecting over here. Okay, collect each and every attachment. Then we need to prepare, we need to copy that attachment details into our own attachments over here. For that one, I'm using a class called as attachment class. Okay, attachment class. Now I'm preparing that here. Attachment equals to new attachment. Okay, inside that email it will be differentiating text attachments, binary attachment different, but as part of our implementation we need to combine all into that attachment here. It may be text, it may be binary, whatever. We need to simply consider as attachment class, because in order to store the attachments we are having only one class, that is attachments class. That may be text attachment also, binary also, it will be storing both. For that one, we need to collect all the text attachments. I need to convert into attachment type, and the binary attachments also need to convert into our own type here. Okay, now I'm collecting that here, each and every attachment. So in that each and every attachment here, whatever the text attachment that you have collected, I'm going to be collecting that information. Attachment dot name equals to txt attachment dot file name. So now whatever the file name that we have, nothing but for that attachment, whatever the name is available, collect that attachment name over here. That name I'm going to be storing inside this. That means I'm collecting the text attachment which has been added to that email notification. I'm collecting that attachment, I'm storing inside my attachment object here. Next, the content. Attachment dot body. Okay, attachment dot body. So in this body, we need to specify that here. Okay, attachment dot body method, or else you can able to use now attachment dot body method. We need to specify that blob dot value of. Okay, blob dot value of txt attachment dot body. So whatever the content is available inside the text attachment here, okay, whatever the content is available in the text attachment, I'm going to be collecting that content. I'm going to be converting into that blob binary format. That content I'm storing inside my attachment object here. Next, to whom you would like to add this attachment over here? I would like to add this attachment to my contact record. So that here I'm specifying attachment dot parent ID. Okay, parent ID. That means we need to specify the ID of that parent record to whom you would like to add this attachment here. That is nothing but our contact record. Contact record dot ID. To the contact record, I'm going to be adding that attachment over here. Okay. So now I'm preparing one attachment here by specifying the name and the body and then parent ID to whom this attachment has to be get attached over here. Now, once it is ready, then store this attachment into your collection. For that one, I'm using that list collection. List of attachment. LST attachments equals to new list of attachment. Every attachment we need to collect and we need to store into our own attachments type here. Get all the text attachments from the email and store into attachment type. Now, I'm adding inside this LST attachments dot add. Okay, now I'm adding that attachment here. I'm collecting each and every attachment I'm going to be storing inside my collection. Like the similar way, we need to get all the binary attachments also. Okay, binary attachments also. When you would like to go with these binary attachments, if the binary attachments are available, okay, if the collection is not empty, in this case here, binary attachments. I'm indicating that. I would like to verify if email dot binary attachments not equals to null. If it is not null, then only I would like to iterate that here. For each and every messaging dot inbound email dot binary attachment from the email dot binary attachments. I'm collecting all the binary attachments which has been added to my email. From that one, I'm collecting each attachment over here. Okay, each binary attachment I'm storing inside this variable. From there, I'm going to preparing my own attachments over here. Attachment BNR attachment here equals to new attachment. Okay, I'm preparing that binary attachment. After that, we need to specify, copy that each and every binary attachment added to the email into your own attachment class. Now, attachment dot name. We need to specify BNR attachment dot name. I'm collecting that name over here. And then BNR attachment body. Body equals to BNR attachment dot body. BNR attach dot parent ID equals to contact record dot ID. And we need to add this attachment to my collection again. So once attachment has been getting collected, we need to add that attachment to your collection. Here also I'm adding the similar kind of condition here as well. If email dot text attachments collection is not null, if it is having that records, okay. So once all the attachments are available inside my attachment object, then I would like to insert those attachment records here. Variable does not exist name. Okay. Okay. Now, so now once all the attachments are available, then I would like to insert these attachments into my object here, so that this will be getting up pointing to that contact record. Insert the attachments. I would like to verify if LST attachments is not empty. If the collection is not empty, then I would like to insert LST attachments. So this is the business logic class we need to prepare. Okay. Now, so business logic class also not typical. Okay, very simple. So here just we are going to be collecting the email information. Everything is ready-made methods are available, nothing else. Okay. So now let me explain that whole process now. So now, as soon as whenever my email service is receiving one email notification, that email notification will be sending to my business logic class. Now, my business logic class will be receiving that email notification. That email notification is storing inside my class called as, inside my reference variable called as email. And then based on that email here, in that email, you will be having the complete details of the data email notification which you are sent. It may be subject, to address, BCC addresses, and then attachments, sub content, everything will be available. So now in this case, from this email notification, I'm collecting the from address first. I'm collecting the from address. Once the from address has been getting collected, based on that from address, I'm going to be getting the respective contact record. That means with this email address, do we have any contact record is exist or not? So I'm collecting that contact record here by making an SQL query. So once the contact record is available, then I'm storing that contact record inside my variable. Here, this is my object, contact object. In that one, I'm storing that record here. If the record is available here, okay, if the record is not null, that means record is available, then I need to update. What I need to update, whatever the email subject is available, content is available, this data I need to fill up inside my contact records subject field and the content field, so that I'm going to passing that value. If the contact record has been found, then I'm going to be simply updating that information. Suppose if the contact record is not found, then I'm going to be creating a new contact record with these details. Here I'm passing that last name value, email address, subject of that email, content of the email, and then I'm going to be upsetting, either insert or update, any one of that, so that I'm using that upset operation. Or else, if you want to go with the different operation, here we have to write here itself. Here we have to do the update operation. Here we have to do that insert operation. Instead of doing the two statements here, I'm reducing into a single line by using that upset that contact record here. Okay. Now, suppose once the contact record has been getting created, or once the contact record has been getting updated, then I am going to be collecting the attachments. Whatever the attachments that we have inside my email, for that email, the people has added any attachments or not. If the people has added the attachment, then what kind of attachments they have added? Text attachments or binary attachments here. Okay, now I need to collect those information. If it is a text attachments not equals to null, that means there are some text attachments are available. In this case, I am iterating that collection over here, because all the text attachments will be available in the form of that collection. List collection. I'm iterating that collection from starting to ending. Each and every element, nothing but each and every attachment, I'm collecting that. Attachment is from where? Email. This email is what? Inbound email class. So that this inbound email is available inside my messaging namespace. So that messaging dot inbound email dot text attachment. Here observe this one, text attachments. This is the collection. This is the single element here. Okay. So now I'm collecting each and every attachment here, because inside that text attachments collection, it will hold every attachment in the form of a binary format. Okay, but I don't want in the binary format here. I would like to convert, so that here I'm collecting that text attachment, each and every attachment I'm collecting that, I'm storing inside my attachment object here. Because in Salesforce, we have only one object to store the attachment. Either it may be text attachments also, binary also. To store both, we are having only one object that is called as attachment object. So I'm combining both text attachments and binary attachments into a single collection. I'm storing inside my attachment object here. So that here I'm collecting each and every attachment which I received or which I've added from that email notification. Based on that attachment, I'm preparing my own attachment class. Okay, here this is a text attachment, here it is a simply attachment class. I'm preparing into my own attachment class here. I'm copying the data, whatever the file is available inside the text attachments collection. I'm collecting each and every text attachment. I'm storing that. I'm creating a new file. I'm copying that content. I'm specifying the parent ID to whom this attachment has to be get added. So I'm going to be indicating that this attachment has to be get added to that contact record. And then I'm storing that attachment inside my collection. Like the similar way, I'm collecting that binary attachments also. These are I'm adding to my same collection. Once all the attachments have been getting added, then I'm going to be inserting these attachments inside my object. Okay, clear? Now, so now we are ready with that business logic class now. Once the business logic class is ready, then how can we invoke the business logic class? In order to invoke that business logic class, I need to prepare one email service. Okay, I need to prepare one email service here. How to prepare that email service? Now let's see. Whenever I'm attaching this business logic class to my email service, whenever a new email has been coming into that Salesforce, automatically email service will invoke that. It will collect that email notification passing to my business logic class. Now my business logic class will be doing the required operations inside this. Okay, now. So now in this case here, this is my business logic class. Now let's see how can we prepare that email service. Let's go to your Salesforce instance. Go to the setup menu. Create an email service. Now. Now, so go to the develop option. Here we are having an option called as email services. Okay, email services. Click on email services. Now create one email service. Because if the third party person has to send the email notification to you, then we have to prepare one routing address, right? One email address, right? To prepare that routing address, I'm preparing that email service. Now, let's click on that new email service. Click on that new email service. Give that email service name. Okay, give that email service name. I'm indicating that inbound. For example, I'm indicating that CIS inbound email service. I'm indicating that CIS inbound email service. Now, as soon as whenever this email service is receiving one email notification from any of that external email ID, to which business logic class I need to send this email address here, this email notification. For that one, select the Apex class. Business logic class to whom this email notification has to be get forwarded. Click on that lookup icon. I'm selecting that email business logic class. What is the business logic class we have prepared now? Update contacts helper class. Okay, this is the class here. I'm passing that email notification to my class. Now this class will be receiving that email notification over here. Based on that, it is going to performing that operation. Now, upon sending that, upon receiving this email notification by this class, you want me to accept the attachments or not? It is indicating accept attachments or not. If you want to accept the attachment, then what type of attachments you would like to accept? Text, binary, or both? Now we can specify that. Here we'll be having that indication. Text attachments only, binary attachments only, all. I want to accept all the attachments over here. It may be text or binary because we have handled that code for both the things as well. Both the text attachments also I'm accepting over here, binary attachments also I'm accepting over here. Okay, so both should be get acceptable. Now, after that, accept the email from. If you want to restrict based on any domain name, then you can specify that. I don't want to restrict that from any email notification the user can able to send the email. Okay. Now, I want to make it as active. Okay. Now I want to make it as active here. Next, over email rate limit action. That means here, whenever whatever the email notification has been received by Salesforce, if that limit has been over, then what we can do? I don't want to discard that request here. I would like to make it as requeue, nothing but place inside the queue. If the today's daily limit is over, okay, if the today's daily limit is over, then don't discard that request over here. Just you can able to place inside that queue. Next, deactivated email address action. Whenever if anybody has sent the deactivated email notification, make it as bounce. Okay, make that email notification as bounce. That means I don't want to receive that. Simply send that bounce message. Now, deactivated email service action. Whatever the email notification which has been deactivated, from that one, if you want to receive any email notification, simply make it as discarded. For the unauthorized people, don't accept that email notification. Make it a discard. Unauthorized sender people, discard that message over here. I don't want to bounce. Simply I want to discard it. Suppose upon processing this email notification by using this business logic class, if there is any errors has been getting occurred, then how can you notify you? To which email ID I would like to send a notification, so that enable error routing. Okay, enable error routing. I'm specifying that enable error routing. I'm specifying my email address over here. Okay, I'm adding my email address. That means what? Whenever I'm going to be processing that email notification received from the external email ID, upon processing that email notification, if there is any errors has been getting occurred, then send that errors details to this particular email ID as an email notification here. Okay, send those errors information to this email ID. Now, once you have done this information, then click on save and new email address. Okay, click on save and new email address. Now, automatically here, one email address will be getting generated over here. Now, so just to go to that here, I'm specifying this information. New email address. I'm indicating this email address over here. Now, accept the email from, I'm indicating as empty because I would like to send the email notification from any other email addresses. So now, okay. Okay, now click on save. The email addresses. The email service processes messages into this address. Let me go with this process. I'm specifying all the information. Accept email from all the email notifications. Now, let's see. So it has generated one routing address over here. Okay, it has generated that routing address. So now, as soon as whenever I'm going to be configuring that email service, now it is generating one routing address. So this is the email address which has been sent by that Salesforce, generated by the Salesforce. Now from now onwards, the client has to send the email notification to this particular email address. Whenever they're sending the email notification to this email address, this will be coming into my email service. My email service will receive that email notification. It will pass that email notification to that business logic class, and the business logic class will do the respective operations inside this. Okay. Now, so that here, whenever you are sending that email notification, then we have to send the email notification to this email address over here. Okay, this is the routing address which has been generated by Salesforce. Okay, clear? Now, so in this case, whenever if you want to send this email notification here to this email address, okay, from whom, from the Gmail I would like to send. At that time here, how the Salesforce will recognize that Gmail is the authorized application to connect with me. For that one, whenever if you want to connect from any of the third-party system to your Salesforce, then the third-party system's URL we have to add inside your Salesforce instance. Inside where we have to go to that remote site settings. In that remote site settings, we have to add that third-party applications URL, which is indicating this is one of the trusted application to which we can able to connect. For that one, whatever the Gmail address is available here. Okay, so whatever the Gmail address is available, just to copy that, the URL, add inside your Salesforce instance inside the remote site settings. Go to the security controls, go to that remote site settings, add that email address here. New email address, I'm indicating that CIS inbound email service. Specify the email address over here. Now click on save. Now automatically that Gmail's the URL will be adding inside my Salesforce insert. From now onwards, Gmail application can able to connect with my Salesforce. If this remote site settings is not yet added, Salesforce doesn't allow you to process that request here, because that is not a trusted application, so it can't connect to that Salesforce. It can't enter into the first.com platform. In order to have the integration of any third-party application with your Salesforce, the third-party application's URL we need to add inside your Salesforce instance, okay, by using that remote site settings. Okay, clear? Now let's see. Now let me test this functionality now. Go to that contacts over here. I'm having the various contact records are available. I'm having the various contact records. So this is the contact person over here. This is the contact person. In that one, I'm having my email address is available. Okay, in that one, I'm having my email address is available over here. Whenever I'm sending the email notification from this particular email address, then now the email notification will be sending to this particular the routing address. Okay, I'm sending some email notification from that email address here. Okay, that same email address is available here. From the same email address, I'm sending that notification. I'm sending the email notification to that routing address. I'm indicating the subject, test email subject. I'm indicating the test email content. Okay, test email subject and the test email content. As soon as once you click on that send button, then what it will do is it is going to be sending that email notification to that the routing address here. Routing address means what? My email service routing address here. My email service will receive that email notification. That email notification will be sending to my business logic class. Now my business logic class will be receiving that email notification from that inbound email class. Based on that from address, it will be searching for my contact record. Once the contact record is available, in that contact record, it is going to be updating that contact records details with that email subject and the email content. If the details are not available, it will be creating a new contact record over here. If there is an attachments are available, those attachments also will be getting adding to that contact record by default. Let's see. Go to your email contact record, refresh this one. So now we have received that this is that test email subject. Automatically it will be adding inside my. Here I'm using that binary content like as. So for that one, it is going to be indicating that binary content also over here. HTML content. So just simply you can specify like as Instead of using that HTML body, I'm using that plain text body. Here also. So I'm updating the content inside this here. Still it is saving that class. Okay. So it has been attached to that the email service, right? That's what it is unable to save this. It is unable to modify that content here. So now in this case, upon writing that one, specify that plain text body. I have specified the HTML body. That's what it is going to be collecting that entire HTML content over here. Whatever the information that we have specified, that information is going to be embedding with that HTML content also inside this. Okay, clear? Now, so in this case, what happened? As soon as whenever, if anybody is sending some email notification from any of that email address to the Salesforce instance, based on that routing address, we can able to receive that email notification. Based on that email notification, we can do some DML operations inside your object records. For that one, if any of that third party system is not supporting both REST and SOAP integrations, at that time we can go with that email service as one of the integration point. So that upon sending that email notification by the third party system or an external system, we can collect that email address. Based on that email address, we can able to send the email notification to that email service. Email service will be collecting that email notification. Once the email notification has been received, that email notification will be sending to our business logic class. Business logic class will receive that email content in the email envelope. Based on the email notification details, it will do the required DML operations inside your object here. It may be attachments also, it may be text attachments or binary attachments or whatever the content you want to update, we can able to do inside your objects itself. Okay. So at that time, we can able to go with that, the email integrations also with the help of inbound email services. Okay, so not only sending the email notification from Salesforce to external systems, we can receive the email notifications also with the help of messaging dot inbound email handler interface. Okay, clear? Now, so do the practice on this one today, and then tomorrow we don't have the session. The session will be day after tomorrow again. Okay, now. And then I already uploaded the previous session videos regarding the integration videos I have uploaded, and the document is also there inside your drive. Okay.